Welcome to Vintage SF. I'm Richard Rempel. So far, reading the Ace Science Fiction Specials Series 1, I had a really good time with the first 22 novels here. There were a lot of entertaining and even challenging reads. I had a bit of a speed bump here with these two books, but otherwise there were some very, very strong books. Perhaps the highlight was The Jagged Orbit, The Left Hand of Darkness, and The Preserving Machine. In this cubicle, it finished strong with The Palace of Eternity, Pavan, and The Black Corridor. Moving on to the next cubicle, there was a reprint of Rite of Passage. It had won a Nebula Award. And then I had a tough time with Fourth Mansion, and Chaos Died, and The Phoenix and the Mirror. So it's been a rough start in this cubicle. And now I'm up to the 27th novel of the Ace Science Fiction Special Series 1, After Things Fell Apart, by Goulart, 1970. The setting is California of the near future that is, to 1970. United States has fallen apart. Through political and societal decay, the nation is not what it used to be. There even was a foiled attempt by the Chinese to make a commando-like raid on the state of California. This is a state where now all the eccentric subcultures of the 1960s exist in an exaggerated form. Our protagonist, Jim Haley, is a detective for the Private Inquiry Office. He's also well connected with many of these subcultures. He's investigating the murder of prominent businessmen by feminist assassins. Haley is seeking the infamous leader of the feminist assassins, Lady Day. His first clue takes him north over the Golden State Bridge, where there is a riot. Two faction gangs are fighting. We take a short tour to Northern California, then head back into the middle of California. We end up near Monterey and Carmel. We visit the Nixon Institute for Aging Rock Stars. Now remember, this novel was written in 1970, before Watergate. There's a town run by the amateur mafia. We have jazz and blues cafes, and a psychiatric institute that's modeled after Vienna and Sigmund Freud. You get a sense that the journey and not the plot is the important thing here. It is a satirical and sometimes slapstick comedy. You have notes of Kurt Vonnegut, John T. Sladek, perhaps Monty Python and the Flying Circus, and even Benny Hill. I think I need to give you a warning, even if you love satirical comedy. The exaggerations are based on the California of 1969. The subcultures are racist, raunchy, and ribald. I found it hard to believe that it won the 1971 Edgar Award for Best Original Paperback. I think the mystery is just an excuse to explore these exaggerated subcultures. Thankfully, we have another Leo and Diane Dillon cover here. Perhaps not a saving grace, but at least it looks good. After Things Fell Apart only saw 2 more printings, one in 1977. I think this cover is an accurate representation. And then the last in 1985. This cover makes no sense to me. I think at this point the publisher realized that they couldn't sell the novel on some of the blatant exploitation. This novel was too much for me. I give it 2 out of 10. A definite low point in the Ace Specials. If you disagree, I sure hope that you will comment. So the rough patch continues, but there's hope. The Year of the Quiet Sun by Wilson Tucker. I enjoyed Wilson Tucker's earlier book in the series, The Lincoln Hunters. And then we get to one of my favorite authors, Bob Shaw, 1 Million Tomorrows. So there's hope that my reading slump in the Ace Specials is done. Let me know if there are any Goulart works that you would recommend. Until next time, keep reading.